Science, God, and You, The Ancient Theory of Everything, the book that couldn't be written until now.
Human on planet Earth is available to all. Most haven't found it, not because the truth is hiding, it's because the old you doesn't want you to uncover the truth of the real you. The ego wants to survive. We have no choice but to work from our worldly bank of information and ideas that have created each of us, the you and I that we think we are. We must build a mental ladder. Climbing the ladder builds your mind's acceptance of the truth until your intellect joins with your faith and you step out into the world of what was unknown. You build your ladder out by opening your mind to ever-expanding truths. You pile them up until you can just walk out. Common sense, intuition, and faith will connect you gradually to enough puzzle pieces until you've built a platform high enough to look out over the edge of the old world that looked real, and see and to experience the peace without the ego. This is the eternal spiritual you, which has always existed and always will. This is the truth which passes understanding. As the Bible clearly says, you were created in the image and likeness of a spiritual God. You're saved now. You don't have to wait. While our science digs deeper and deeper into the minutiae of the worldly mind, it thinks it's proving there's no need for the concept of God. Ironically, all the while science is proving to those that know the opposite. There will never be a man-made theory of everything, because man cannot contemplate or understand the infinite everything. It's not in or understandable by the material mind. So you might ask, well, how can we know it? Well, how can we know this God or this spirit that you're talking about? The truth has been out there always. It's plainly revealed in those deeply entrenched in the world, in what those deeply entrenched in the world call myths, cults, or the religion of fools. Now, if you think this is all preposterous, if you're thinking that now, then you're dealing with what the Bible called the only unpardonable sin. It's only unpardonable because truth can't help you if you don't believe, or at least want to believe, it exists. Can you imagine seeing the world from a much higher elevation? An elevation not of altitude but of understanding. It might be compared to a goldfish who is momentarily lifted out of his 20-gallon tank to see his home from outside of its confines. It only takes a moment. One momentary flash of reality will expand your understanding of who you are, set you free from many years of blind acceptance of a world that's seemingly totally controlled by time and space, time and outside events. As science now understands, there's no real world out there in some public space waiting for you to operate within it. Paraphrasing well-known biologist Robert Lanza, the world comes from us, not the other way around. And this is perhaps the most completely unintuitive task in the human experience. We must learn to get past everything that we see, hear, and touch. But any human with a modicum or a mustard seed of faith can't do it, because it's true. Jesus talked about giving up our material selves a lot. He talked about giving up our material selves for the perfection in our true spiritual selves, putting off the old man. He demonstrated the power of spirit over the world every day for 3 years. We know this because it was seen and written about by many followers who lost all fear of death. They spoke of it openly in public, not fearing the loss of their worldly lives. You don't do that unless you know something. If the end game is just to make ourselves better humans in the eyes of God, we may improve in the flesh, but we will still be unaware of the spiritual nature that fills the universe just beyond the worldly senses. To be sure, becoming a more loving person is instrumental in the process of quieting the world that we perceive, as we strive to become identified with spirit and receive a proportionate degree of peace and freedom from the world. We don't get it from the world, we receive it. We receive this peace and freedom apart from the world. And through this process, we will begin to understand the ancient theory of everything.